As a first thing, I would like you to just take a moment to look around you and be aware of where we are actually located. We are really in the heart of Brisbane, and this is not only because we are really close to the beautiful site next to the Brisbane River. It's not only because, more importantly, it contains the most historic buildings in the city and it marks the origin of Brisbane as a city. It's also important for another reason, which is the diversity of the activity that is happening in this site and around this site. If you just think about it, we have vibrant retail and dining opportunities at Queens Mall and Eagle Street. We have business buildings scattered all across the CBD where people daily go to work and to create for Brisbane. We have important cultural institutions across the river with QPAC, with the Museum of Queensland, with the State Library. We have Griffith, QT and TAFE around that provide education and research for our city. And finally, we have beautiful recreational spaces with the Botanic Gardens and South Bank. Really, if you think about it, this site is really at the heart of everything. Everything else radiates around this spot. And looking back at how this development happened and the fact that Brisbane is such a young city, it's really impressive. And just dedicating the city's new most iconic and representative landmark to something that is a casino, I think Brisbane deserves better. I think it is a massive lost opportunity to create something that would really show this evolution and the culture of the city. But as we all know, there's a bit of a struggle with what is Brisbane's real identity, what that does really mean. And this is exactly the opportunity that we should take to ask ourselves this question. What identity do we want for Brisbane? And if we work on this question on an individual level, especially on a collective level, by taking part in visioning workshops or by just being here in this space, we can figure out what this vision is and make sure that this new site will actually reflect that vision. When I first came to Brisbane, which was about 6 years ago, I went to a supermarket and I was completely astonished why people would ask me how I was, and I was even more astonished why this person started telling me a story about how they walked their dog on the beach in the morning. But then over time I realized that this is part of what makes Brisbane Brisbane, the fact that you can just rock up a conversation with anyone, that everyone is really open and grounded and down to earth. And for me personally, this is what I identify Brisbane with. And I believe that this openness can be a catalyst to make this site a place of confluence for the people from all these diverse areas that I mentioned earlier. A place where people come together to share experiences, to learn from each other, to create with each other. Really a place where we could start generating new ideas for Brisbane and making these ideas actually happen. In this site we could have anything or multiple things. There could be an innovation precinct, an Indigenous cultural center. It could be showcasing local arts, food, products, crafts, dining experiences, something that is really representative of this city and engages the local businesses on a long term instead of generating a complex of steel buildings, a casino, and generic retail chains and hotel chains that could really be anywhere else in this world or even anywhere else in Brisbane as has been proposed, but please not on this site. I really believe that public land should really stay public and we should have genuine access to these spaces and not be confined by any private developer of how we are allowed to use our city. And I truly believe that we can generate an alternative proposal that creates jobs and that boosts tourism that does not have to be a generic, complex and destructive casino. I believe that we really need long-term public value for Brisbane and its residents and not just economic value. Thank you very much.